So Bob, Amanda was briefly talking about rust. So what are you seeing right now in the wheat fields?
By far and away, we're seeing stripe rust. That's the most prevalent disease. We did see some of the leaf spotters early, and there's still some down low, and powdery mildew a bit early, but by far and away, stripe rust is the most prevalent disease across the state.
So last time we talked to you, as we were coming out of winter, the things that were starting to kind of creep up, but it was still pretty mild. Is that kind of what the situation's still like right now?
Yeah, a day like this, cloudy, cool, we've had moisture, there's been a fair amount of rain. This is ideal conditions, especially for stripe rust. And that's why there is so much of it around. There's also some barley yellow dwarf out here in the field. You can kind of see some of the yellowing in leaves in resistant varieties to stripe rust. And we've also had a fair amount of wheat streak mosaic virus show up across the state, but that's mostly more western, northwestern Oklahoma.
So you always have your eye on Texas, because that just means that whatever's happening there will probably move north up to Oklahoma. So is there anything happening in Texas right now?
No, and you're right. That's exactly the point. They started reporting stripe rust early down in southern Texas. There has been leaf rust move in down there, and I would expect we're going to see leaf rust, but it's just taken a long time for that to move in. As much as Amanda and I traveled across south central, southwestern, and central Oklahoma last week, just very rarely saw some leaf rust, but it'll probably come yet, but it's going to be late.
Do you think the weather at all, like kind of that, that crazy winter storm we had in February and these cooler days, that's having an impact on why things are so mild?
Well, we were seeing some stripe rust and leaf rust both before we had the big freeze in early February, so that could have very well have knocked some of that back. It could have killed the leaves that were infected, and so we got rid of some of that initial inoculum. But in terms of what usually happens in Oklahoma, that inoculum blowing up from Texas, that's still going on. But yeah, these kinds of days are perfect for growing wheat, but also for the wheat diseases.
So as the crop, progresses along and we start inching closer into harvest in, really just a couple of weeks, in a lot of parts of the state, what are some things that producers need to keep their eye on in their fields?
Well, of course, watch for the foliar diseases, especially stripe rust, leaf rust. Also watch for what stage your wheat is at. Most all of this wheat has flowered or is in flowering, and that's about the last you can ever spray is at the start of flowering. So you go further to the northwest, of course, the wheat's going to be a little bit further behind, so there's still time to spray if that's needed. There's also, you're going to be watching for those viruses, barley yellow dwarf and wheat streak mosaic, although there's not much you can do about them now. It's a little too late for that.
Alrighty, thanks Bob. Bob Hunger, Extension Wheat Pathologist here at Oklahoma State University.